Good morning. You're seeing me with my morning hair. No comb or brush has touched this mop. Um, this is my second attempt, and I've made a commitment to myself not to say or ah, but I already violated that rule once. So I wanted to lay out some expectations, loose expectations regarding September the 18th, and also share some information for folks that aren't going to be able to be there. I've been thinking about the questions that will be raised for a very long time throughout 19 plus years of being a licensed local pastor in the United Methodist Church, being involved in various businesses, seeing the trends of our culture and our society and our economy and how those impact real people, including my neighbors, people in my own community. And what we really want to do is to have a very long conversation. Basically, a conversation that's multi-way, involves multiple people, multiple voices, including voices from outside of our congregation, and engage with each other in a process of discovery, what it means to be a church. And certainly Scripture will inform that, but for too many people today, the impact of Scripture or the way that Scripture is used to describe the church is number one, at variance with what Jesus actually did, said, and taught, and number two, completely at variance with what is needed today in our world. I've been reading a book called Protestant Christendom. It's a book that contains a number of essays written by social and political conservative aligned authors. And one of the first essays discussed Martin Luther and his emphasis on three institutions that were important for human thriving. These were drawn largely from lectures on Genesis, and the institutions include the church, the family unit, the whole household economy, and also the body politic, how we set up our society in terms of, I don't want to say ruling over us, but clearly we do have different ways of setting up organized structures within our body politic to create ground rules and help to maintain a just society, so that in general the goal, in theory at least, is to prevent the strong from overrunning and completely dominating weaker people in the society. So as I thought about those things, I thought there was one thing that's really, really missing from Luther's formulation, and then that would be the natural world. Because we live in a context of engaging nature, in some cases exploiting nature and extracting from nature. And as population is now, there are 1,000 times more people today than there were in Martin Luther's day in the early 16th century. So the impact of human population is real, and it's going to be part of our conversation as well. But what I really am hoping to do is to have this long, extended conversation, very informal, while at the same time in civil and engaged fashion, talk about all those things and think about the church's place in all of those. We'll talk about topics that are foremost in your mind. Just as one example, can you imagine possibility for a nice civic, informed conversation about issues that came up during the pandemic? Can you imagine a church that's actually involved in finding solutions to challenges raised by the pandemic and helping the local community in every way that it's possible for a church to do so, including providing a true, loving, and moral foundation for community action in a context like that. I strongly believe that similar and likely even worse crises will occur in the future, and the church should be part of the picture of dealing with those things. I've already spoken too much. Look forward to more engagement as I wear different hats and do different presentations from each of those four perspectives that I've shared: the church, the household economy, or the economy at large in modern societies, nature and the world and the environment, and also the politics. That's what we can do in the church, and we can do it while creating space and being respectful towards each other, because that's what's really needed today, among other things, among real expressions of the crucified, risen, and reigning Christ in our hearts and lives. Thank you for listening.